Hey guys, I want to make a video about why I'm not going to be using the Woltis lightweight scope mount and why I'm going to remain using my Nikon mount, even though I'm going to sell the Nikon M223 2:8 and I'm going to slap it on a Redfield 4:12. Two things. I suppose it's a two-part really review. I suppose it's kind of silly. So first things first, the mount. This mount is pretty well built. I do like the construction. I do like a lot about it. They definitely tried to take as much material out as they could. You get two screws on each side. The screws are okay quality. Trying to, I guess, step in their game up a little bit, so that's good. But this gap is pretty maxed out for this 1-inch tube. So considering this is a 12 by scope, there's not a whole lot of extra up here. And there's nothing in the back, so they definitely want this scope to be exactly right here, so you don't get to slide it really too far in and out. It does sit a scope farther forward. If I line up where this and this are, let me see if I can do this justice. That looks pretty good by eye. See well, I suppose the scopes aren't really that much different. That looks pretty well lined up though. So, yeah. This mount will sit your scope a little tad bit farther forward. But there's a couple things I cannot do with because of the design. I have, the flip up joints, which I like, but this big gold knob over here means I can't use it. And then another thing I don't really love is this coming up over the front. So I got a little, sling mount point right there that I've been using, that I've been liking using. And the fact that I got to move it forward just so I can clear this gigantic crane right here, I kind of don't really love that. I like how this one keeps it up nice and neat and just kind of do its thing as a scope mount. This one is definitely more elegant looking and all that good stuff, but I don't think it really adds a lot of, it might add a little rigidity, I suppose, to this design, having this little strip that goes in between the two and then this fairly chunky L. I suppose that it is more rigid. Sure, actually I'm quite certain of it now that I really think about it. I guarantee this has got to be more rigid than this mount, but I never had an issue because Nikon's pretty well built. It's got good materials and heat treating on its stuff. I don't know how good the heat treat is on this. I don't know how soft it is. It's just aluminum from China. I don't know if it's 7075, 6160, or whatever that shit is. So, I honestly don't know. But it is fairly lightweight, so it is cool in a lot of ways. But just because I got these flip-ups on the side and now I cannot flip them down because of that nut, it's pretty much a no-go for me. Between that, having to scoot this thing forward, and just the lack of sliding it back and forth, I don't really think it's for me. If you had a bigger scope, because this is a 30mm tube, they'll have inserts for 1-inch, and I like the inserts. It fits together pretty well. It's definitely machined out right, that's for sure. So I like the Woltis, not for this particular rifle. So it looks like back to the drawing board on that. Now, the Revolution 12 by power, I do want, if I'm having the weight of an optic, 12 power seems like where I want to be. 8 power just seems like stuff's still too small at 200 yards, 300 yards. And why? Why not have a better zoom in ability situation, a little bit more clear at 200 yards? I'm not that good a shot, so using the BDC out to 600 doesn't really seem super realistic to me. My experience on the range, I've not been able to be hitting targets at like 400 and 500, so it's really spotty. Like between how the crosshair and the BDC looks in strong Texas daylight is hard. Strains my eyes a little bit, and sometimes I feel like the crosshairs are really tinted brown with the Nikon, as we're with the Redfield. It's a very sharp black all the time. Every time I look through the scope, it's black, black, black. This, I can look through the scope and I can see it be brown, and then I can see it turn black, and I don't like that. I think it's really thin. I don't know how they how they make it and stuff like that. And another thing I don't like about these M series scopes, to be honest with you, is clicking them around. I click them around on accident all the time, then I get all pissed off. So I'm kind of over that, and honestly I feel like standard crosshair might be more up my alley, and these standard old caps, just less hassle. Like every time I'm fucking around with this thing in real shooting, doing cool guy shit, I'm spinning them around a little bit, and it seems stupid. I'd like to be able to lock them down, but they don't have that option. So you can click them up and leave them clicked up, but that doesn't seem like a secure way to do it. Anyway, so the Nikon is going to go. I feel like 8 power is not enough for me. 12 power is going to go on. This Woltis that I was hoping would be awesome is no longer awesome, and now will be getting sold with the Nikon. So about that life. So now I got a bunch of work to do. Anyway, guys, just a idiot's opinion, but hopefully valid data points for you guys. If you guys don't mind this big crane coming out over the front right here, if that works for you, then you're golden. And I like this mount, I honestly do. It's got a couple of things where this rifle's set up already where I'm kind of just bent out of shape about it, so I don't feel like trying to change my backups because I like the ability to rotate and have irons. If I have a 12 power optic, I like that. I don't want it to just be some, you know, backup iron sights that are tucked underneath this where I got to remove this damn thing and then use iron sights. That seems kind of not what I'm all about. So, you know, everyone's different, so I do like this. It's not working for this rifle, and I don't really necessarily love this old school ass giant knob shit. Seems really hard to try to change out. These are press fit in here on this side, so that would be quite a job to knock those things the hell out and get some flush fitting hardware up in there like this Nikon has that I like so much. At the end of the day, I still love the Nikon mount, so for that, what that's worth. Peace.